Hello. Your first DJ gig is going to change your life. It's why we here at Digital DJ Tips say, play a DJ gig early when you're starting in this game. It just is for loads of reasons, but it's also going to be the most nerve-wracking thing you ever do in your DJing. Trust me on that one. So in today's live lesson, I'm going to talk you through 10 things taken from our training, which will help you to make the most of and survive that first DJ gig. Can't wait to get started. As always, the whole team is here. Everyone's on the comments and chats to help out and to make this as good a lesson as possible. So 30 seconds to settle down and then we'll get going. I'll see you then. Hello again. So we're live in the Digital DJ Tips studio as ever with another live lesson from the Digital DJ Tips school. And again, we're talking here about 10 killer tips to help you survive your first ever DJ gig. So if you are building up to a DJ gig or you haven't played one for a long time, which can feel exactly the same as your first gig, or you remember what it was like, hang around because I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your memories. My first gig, I can't remember it. I was playing DJing many years before I was actually mixing because we used to do mobile DJ stuff when I was about 15 or 16. But my first mixing gig, I remember so clearly. I had all my set written out on a piece of paper. It was hidden under the DJ booth and my hands were trembling that much. I literally couldn't get the needle in the groove because every time I went to the beginning of the record, my hand jumped and I had the whole thing planned out and it was great. But it was so nerve-wracking. And, you know, DJs, getting nervous is part of the game. So I've picked these 10 tips that I've got for you here have been picked from our training. They've been picked from our Digital DJ Lab training where we go into a lot of detail about this kind of thing. But I thought I'd just pick out 10 big ones that people need help with all the time in our experience in the school. Let's get started then. So oh, by the way, there's an article about all of this that you can find on Digital DJ Tips, which will be live as of about Thursday, the 25th of April, 2024. So look out for that there. Right, okay, so number one of our 10 tips is really important before you start getting started on the music or the mixing or whatever. Confirm the technical stuff. In other words, what gear are you expected to play on at this gig you've been booked for? Are you taking your own gear? Do they have gear there and the idea is you just turn up with a USB stick and plug into all their stuff? How does it work? Or is it more a case of you're a mobile DJ and so you're bringing everything, you've got to get your hands on all the gear? What's the deal? Are you playing on someone else's controller? You just need to export your set so that it works on their controller. What's the deal? Get this confirmed really early on because that gives you a chance then to think about stuff that you need to practice or that you don't know. So get all that confirmed and also get your plan B confirmed. What are you going to do if something goes wrong? Because the best way to get rid of nerves and to survive that horrible feeling that, what am I doing here? Is to know what's going to happen, is to put the fear of it going wrong, put it into words. What's the worst that could happen? What will that look like? What am I going to do? Could just be a lead in your phone, plugging into the back of the DJ gear that's there. But know what you're going to do and practice it before you get anywhere near the music. Trust me, get the techie stuff sorted out. Number two, now we're going to get near the music. Be sure of what's required. You've been booked to DJ, great, but what are they expecting you to play? Don't leave it to chance, don't assume anything, and don't take what you're told as gospel because people are quite often they find it quite hard to tell you what they want. And so as a DJ, your job is to read between the lines and to ask the right questions. And also a good way, if you're getting the sense that people are struggling to tell you what they want, is to say, what kind of people are you expecting at this event? Now, of course, if the event is a club or something that you can go to, great. Or you can do what James Hype does, our tutor. James pre-reads the crowd. James will go on Instagram or he'll go on the DJs that have played there on their TikToks or whatever, and he'll look. He's not trying to see whether the DJs have done well. He wants to know what music they were playing and he wants to know what the people look like who were there because there's clues there in what music to play. So make sure that you're sure about what music is required and you've thought about what you've been told. And if you've got any questions or any concerns, raise them early on. So our third tip is build a master playlist for the event, about twice as big as the music you're going to play. So let's say you're playing for 3 hours and you know you're going to play 2 minutes of each song. So that's 30 songs an hour, that's 90 songs. You want about 180 songs in your playlist. The idea of having a master playlist is not that they're the only songs you take with you, because hey, digital, you've probably got everything with you, but you're going to play from that rather than from your master library. Two big reasons. One, you can put your master playlist in any order you want by dragging them around. You can't do that in your library. So it's like packing a crate of records. You're actually getting them in roughly the kind of order. You're not going to play the whole list from beginning to end. There's twice as much music. You can't do that. But you are going to roughly play from the beginning to the end of the list, and it's giving you lots of options as you go through, but not so many that you're like this. Oh no, 2,000 tunes. Don't know what to play. You know, rabbit in headlights stuff. You don't want to do that. So have a master playlist. That your job between when you book your first gig and when you play it is to build that playlist. Make sure that it's got every eventuality built into it. You know, enough of this, enough of that. What if these people don't like that? Well, I've got some of this as well, and so on. So build yourself a master playlist. So tip number 4 is plan your first 5 songs. Now, I know a lot of DJs who do this anyway. It might be 2 or 3 or whatever, but plan your first 5 songs. Because at the beginning of your gig, that's when you're going to be the most nervous. And so you don't want to be worrying about what to play at that stage. So plan it. Practice the mixes, practice the transitions. Do it so that you can literally do it in your sleep. And that way, when you're dealing with everything else, you know, the volume, the people, the nerves, the cortisol, everything, at least you're not thinking about the mixing. You're just doing what you've practiced, right? So planning your first 5 songs is a proper killer tip here. So talking about practicing, I've got a couple of 3 tips here to help you prepare at home for your gig. You know, your controller is set up at home. You're all ready to go. What actually do you do to prepare for your gig? Well, to start with, you're going to use that master playlist. But I've got a couple of things you can do with it. So the first thing, these are kind of opposites. The first thing is have a random mixing session every now and then where you just literally open your master playlist, you start playing one and you pick another one at random and try and mix it in. Because if you can mix freely and easily between all the songs in your master playlist at random, you know, just that and to that, to that, to that, then it'll give you confidence that you can do the same thing on the night. Now, you're probably going to pick songs that you would never want to mix together on the night, like because they're totally different BPMs or styles or whatever. But knowing you can do the extreme stuff means that the other stuff is going to be less hard, right? So just play at random. Always play out of the music that you are going to want to play on the night at your gig, right? There's no point playing other music. From now on in, that's all you're going to be playing because you want to learn that music. But play random. Have random mix sessions, you know, just pick a number from 1 to 10 or more likely 1 to 200 or 180. It's a 3-hour gig. Now, you could even, if you wanted, get a random number generator on your phone, press the button, it'll give you a number between 1 and 180, look down your list, pick that number tune, because all tunes have got numbers in DJ software, and try and mix it into the one you're currently playing, and keep doing it. You'll be amazed at how much fun that can be. We're not after perfection, we're after confidence building. But the opposite of that is you should have at least one full dress rehearsal. This is tip number 6. One full dress rehearsal of the whole gig. Beginning to end, you're going to turn up, you're going to get your gear there, and you're going to play. You're going to start playing. Doesn't matter if you mess up, doesn't matter, whatever. You're going to keep playing until the end. This teaches you all kinds of things. So I'm a marathon runner. That's my thing. I like to run marathons. And one of the things we do in our marathon running training is we run for the length of time that we're going to be running the marathon for. Now, a marathon takes a lot out of you. It really, really does. And so you wouldn't go and run a marathon to train for a marathon. That's doing your race too early. So you run a lot slower than you would if you were running a marathon, but you still do it for the same time. So instead of doing the 26 miles, you might do 16, but you still stay on your feet for the time. It's the same with DJing. You're going to do a dress rehearsal, you're going to stay on your feet, you're going to play music for the time. No, it's nowhere near as hard as the event because you've got no one else there, you've got no crowd, you've got nothing to worry about, but it gets you used to the time you're going to be doing it for, and it gets you used to not stopping when you go wrong. So have a full dress rehearsal. And then tip number 7, which is the final mixing tip here, is to record at least that dress rehearsal practice session, at least. If not, your random mixing sessions as well, and even better, everything. And listen back to it the next day. And this will give you more confidence because it will show you that you can do it and it doesn't sound that bad. But also it will show you which mixes maybe need some more work, which transitions work better than you thought, and so on. Because the only person who can't hear what you're really doing, how it really sounds, is you. Because you're too busy doing it, right? That's just a rule of DJing. You never hear your mixing as it really is. So record it, listen back to it. Great tip anyway, that one. So if you just joined us, we're talking through our 10 tips on how to prepare for and survive your first ever DJ gig. We've already talked about getting all the techie stuff right, confirming the gear you'll be using. We've talked about being sure about what music is required. Don't leave anything to chance there. We've talked about building a master playlist that you're going to use that's twice as big as the length of time that you are going to play for, so twice as much music as you need. We've talked about planning your first 5 songs, so when you start playing and you're really nervous, you've got something all planned up there. We've now talked about mixing, so we've talked about the idea of mixing at random from your master playlist and also having a dress rehearsal and recording all of that so that you can listen back to it. Again, this is all about building your confidence. So now let's move on and talk about the week of the gig. So I'm a big believer that we only have so much stress we can handle in life. We just do. And our bodies feel the stress, and when it builds up, and that's it, we're gone. We're no good for anyone, right? I'm sure you've been there. And so your body doesn't care where that stress comes from. And your job in the week building up to your gig is to keep your stress levels low everywhere in your life that you can, so that you can deal with the stress that builds up about your DJ gig, because you will start to get stressed. So work, family, other commitments. Tell people, say, look, I'm going to need an easy week this week. Please help in any way you can. Don't take on extra stuff. Make sure that you're sleeping well and eating well. Just get to that gig day with your batteries charged, properly slept, properly fed, and ready to concentrate on the gig, because it's going to be the best time you've had in your DJing so far. We don't want you to waste it by getting some of that stuff wrong. So number 9, on the day itself. So I've got 2 tips in one here. Get there early and set the mood. What do I mean by this? Well, there's no point turning up 5 minutes before you're meant to play. It's bad manners and it's just bad preparation. But getting there early also gives you the chance to set the vibe. And so DJs, we're there to help people have a good time. And so we've got to have a good time ourselves and project that to other people. And it starts the second you walk in the venue. So your gig doesn't start when you play your first song. It starts when you walk in. You want to smile at people, you want to ask people's names, you want to look them in the eye, the door people, the manager, the person who's booked you, the first people in the club, the people behind the bar. You want to be enthusiastic, even if inside you feel anything but, because you're so nervous. Project that, because that's what you have to do to get people on your side when you start playing. And it starts when you walk through the door. Okay, so you've got to get there early and you've got to set the right vibe. It's up to you to do that. However ill-equipped you feel to do it, however you feel, I'm an imposter, who is it for me to tell people they're going to have a good time? But it is. People have had just as hard a week as you've had. They're looking up to you, and if you look like you know what you're doing, they're going to relax and have a good time. They're going to put their good time in your hands. And DJing is ultimately about transferring energy from DJ booth to dance floor. And so your job's to do that, and it all starts the second you walk through the door. Do that bit right, and trust me, when it gets to playing your first song, you're going to be in a better position to do a good job. And then the final tip then, tip number 10 for surviving your first DJ gig. It's time to press the button on that first song. Execute your plan and trust that the nerves will go. You've planned everything. You've left very little to chance. So don't worry about it. Don't try anything new. Don't do any extra thinking. Play those first 5 songs that you've practiced and trust that the nerves will go. The good thing about this way of approaching gigs is at the end of those 5 songs, they probably will have done. Nerves, you know, I also am a big believer that you cannot be in an extreme state for too long. Your body won't let you. If you're really nervous, it has to pass, because you're probably faint or something otherwise. So it's going to last 10 or 15 minutes. And that first 5 songs that you prepared will get you through that. So execute your plan, trust in the plan, play those first 5 songs, and I can guarantee, almost guarantee, nothing's a guarantee in life, is it? But I can guarantee that at that point, more than likely you're going to be having a great time and you will survive your first gig. Not only that, you will be like a child coming off a playground ride or a fairground ride at the end and going straight to the back of the queue to get on again because they've had such a good time. I'm sure you've had that feeling, trust me. The end of your first DJ gig is going to change everything. You'll suddenly be a real DJ. You'll stop dreaming about it. You'll actually know that you've done it and that you can call yourself a DJ. So look, I wish you the best of luck. Now, because this is Digital DJ Tips and because we teach live lessons from here in the studio, I'm going to pull in the laptop and we're going to talk live to our students and our subscribers and our viewers and get your views. Do you remember your first gig? What was it like? Do you have tips? Have you got a first gig coming up that you want to share tips about? Please just share. We'll spend the next 10 minutes talking about this. And just as a reminder, this is all on the website as of the 25th of April 2024. You go find that article. You can watch this video again up there, but you can also read everything and a lot more information around everything I've just said. And before we get to the comments, just one other piece of housekeeping from us here at Digital DJ Tips, which is this. If you've seen the Digital DJ Tips website recently, you might have seen that we've got a prize draw running. So it looks like this. I'm just dialing it up now so I can show it to you. We've actually got, now I don't think I'm going to get them down because it'll probably put my back out, but we've actually got up here. Oh, you know what? I will get one down. If I collapse, someone call an ambulance. We've got some of these. Jesus, I mean, they're a hefty speaker, I'll tell you that. We've got two of these to give away. They are the Alpha Theta Wave 8. They are a PA speaker, but they've got a built-in battery. They also have built-in no latency or very low latency wireless, which means you can DJ with them. They give you a special little box that plugs in the side there that you can plug into your DJ gear, and then the speaker will pick up what your DJ gear is playing wherever this speaker is, and it will play it without a cable. So great for outdoor parties, portable DJ gigs, live streams, and so on. I'm going to put that down there. We've teamed up with Alpha Theta. We've got two of them to give away. We've got a prize draw running at the moment. However, it's been so popular that we've extended it. It was going to close today. However, we've extended the prize draw. And so that means that if you haven't entered it yet, you still can. So head over to the Digital DJ Tips website where you will find a link to enter this prize draw. However, I'll make it even easier for you. Just go to djtips.co. djtips.co. We'll type it in together so you can see djtips.co/win. That's all you've got to type in and you'll come to this page here and then you can enter the draw to win these speakers worth $1,800. Can't be bad, can it? Right, okay, so now let's get back to you and your comments about your first DJ gigs. Have you got one coming up? Can you remember your first gig? Have you got any tips to add? I will read out the best that I can see from your comments on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch here now. Hi regulars. Hi Mixmaster G, Cat's Groove, Kesha. Hi Harmonic Boom over there on Twitch. Nice to have you here. Hi Mike Edwards on Facebook and Kevin on YouTube. So in a nutshell, in my first ever gig, says Easy DJ, the decks got moved from a balcony to a stage in the middle of the whole thing. Wow, so you were taken from a nice discreet balcony and you were put on a stage in front of everyone. Well, you obviously survived it because you're still here, so well done, Easy DJ, and thank you for sharing that story. Hello to Charlie on Facebook. It's always good to have you here, Charlie. DJ Adam, who says, I am playing at the Summer Stock Festival on the 12th of June. This sounds like a first gig, DJ Adam, and they want a 30-minute mix. Any tips? Well, I'd say definitely quick mix, right? So you're going to be playing 90 seconds of each song there and practice it. 30 minutes, it's okay to practice the whole thing. So practice the whole thing, quick mix. You know, there's no point playing 3 trance songs that take up the whole set, right? You can't really show anything off there. Good luck with that gig, sounds awesome. Hello to DJ Aquarius Dream on YouTube. I'm just pulling out names that I feel deserve a shout this week, totally at random. Right. It's always good to have good genre transition songs on hand, says Harmonic Boom on Twitch, in order to switch direction smoothly. What a great idea. Yeah, so this can be useful if it's just not going down well. So you've decided to play one kind of music and it's not working. So you've got songs that you know, we call them crossover songs that you know you can play they've got a foot in more than one genre, right? But also if you're changing from another DJ and you want to move to your style. So yeah, really good tip that. Thank you, Harmonic Boom, for that one. There is a difference, says You Don't Like My Music, between jobbing DJs who play what they're told and established DJs who are hired for their taste. But I can give you a third thing here as well. A lot of the established DJs who are hired for their taste would rather play other stuff, but they're tied to what they have to play. And I know because I've booked lots of them, and they're like, I'd love to just play what you get to play, but I can't because everyone expects me to play this. And so you're right, but there's nuances to this stuff. But thank you for that. You Don't Like My Music. Peter says, that's great advice, planning the first few songs. Clutch. Yeah, and it's not cheating. It really isn't. This is from Harmonic Boom, who says, I may get some haters, but I see nothing wrong with a 2 or 3 track pre-made mini mix. Look, whatever gets you through. My first ever gig, as I said, I had a little piece of paper under there. I planned the whole damn thing. I was so nervous. My hands were like this. I mean, look, when I say my hands were like this, we were playing on turntables, right? So literally I was picking the needle up and I couldn't get it to go down in the groove I wanted. I just rehearsed the whole thing. It was in a bar, but I couldn't have got through it otherwise. It was the only time I ever did, but I did. This is from Don, who's talking about getting the music right. Says, I'm in a band and we will end up playing for ourselves if we don't play what the people like. Yep, it's true. It's true stuff. Easy DJ says, yeah, that is a good tip about the first handful of tunes. Key, BPM and genre and good beat grids is all good preparation. Yeah, but this is good preparation for any gig, of course. I'm just trying to keep it to tips that will definitely help you if it's your very, very first gig. Anyway, brilliant. This is from Otis. Otis was probably tuning in when we were talking last week about poor Grimes and her Coachella fail. And I was talking about the 7 Ps. The British Army have this 7 Ps, and it's typical British because they have, you know, the slightly impolite word in there that makes it sound British. That goes like this: practice and preparation. A proper practice and preparation prevents piss poor performance. So yes, it does indeed, and I guess that's what we were talking about all the way through this, wasn't it? Harmonic Boom, you've got some great comments here over on Twitch, nice and chatty today, and you are saying indeed that Twitch is a great place to practice on. I agree, it is. It's good to practice live streams. It's good to use live streaming to practice your big gigs. Manolo says, I also record my gigs and my mixes. I record about an hour and a half. That's cool. Record an hour and a half. Record the whole thing and just listen through the bits that you want to listen through. It's always a good idea to record your gigs. Raphael says, what do you think about going with track lists of other DJs? I don't care if your track lists are from other DJs or from yourself. To me, it doesn't matter, because your job as a DJ is to play what the people in front of you want right now. And so you're never going to stick to a track list. So yeah, if you like the music other DJs are playing and their track lists are useful, grab the tunes that you want to play from their lists. You know, playing the same tunes in the same order is bad because 1, you're copying them, and 2, it might have worked for them on that night in that place, but I can guarantee it's not going to work for you on this night in this place. So yeah, be influenced by other DJs. You know, all they're doing is playing other people's music just like you. So there's nothing wrong with playing that music. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're playing for the people in front of you. You've got to be more fluid than that. Don has a story for us. Don says, I did a wedding last year where they sent me 6 hours of do not play music. And they sent me an equally long please play list. It actually made preparation a lot easier. Well, there you go. I mean, that's an awful lot of music, isn't it? To know that you're not playing. Thank you everyone who's sharing your weather tips. I never see the weather here. We're in the bowels of a music studio here. I literally don't know if it's night or day out there, but I quite often am very, very surprised when I walk out. And it was lovely and warm when I came in, and all I've got is my shirt. I'm freezing, or it's raining. You know, when you go to the pictures, right, and you go in and it's daytime, and you watch an epic film and you walk out and it's dark, and it always gets you like that, doesn't it? It's like that leaving a music studio after a marathon recording session. So anyway, nice to know what the weather's doing out there. Thank you everyone, even if you are talking about places thousands of miles from here. Apparently the weather's finally broken for the better in New York City. So I'm glad to hear that, the ruckus. Great tip from DJ Tooley O'Toole for when you're moving past your first DJ gigs. DJ Tooley O'Toole says the history section in your DJ software is so helpful for your practice sessions because your history from previous gigs will help you. No crowd is ever the same, but there are great nights that you will remember. You'll see the transitions and they can be golden, especially, he says, for us older DJs whose memories get worse and worse. I love looking at New Year's Eve history lists in my DJ software because, for instance, New Year's Eve, there's going to be big tunes and you're going to want to play them next New Year as well. No, it's a great tip. Thank you for that, DJ Tooley O'Toole. Obviously not going to help you at your first ever gig, but from then on in, they're definitely going to help you. This is from Zombie Pixel, who says, I recently did a gig featuring a genre I was not familiar with. Prepping a playlist about 4 times the amount of music I needed helped a ton. I could get a feel for the vibe and I could pull from the correct song list. So it's great, great sharing. This is from The Craftsman on YouTube, who says that this video came right on time for me because my first gig is this weekend. We wish you the very best of luck, The Craftsman. I'm sure it's going to go really well. Why don't you come back and tell us? Shaky hands suck. Steady hands are all that DJs need, says You Don't Like My Music. Yes. Breathe deep and have fun. Don't let the first 2 wibbly mixes put you off. It always sounds different live and loud. Getting used to the delay from the monitor speakers, etc. That move from home to DJ booth is something that you feel you will never get used to. I mean, I can give you an example. It's not the best example, but you know, sometimes when you go to watch your favorite sports team in a bar, right? Or in an arena or in a public place, not live, but on TV, right? So you said to your friends, oh, do you want to meet and watch the match or watch the game or whatever? And you grab a seat and you're like, oh God, I can't see the screen. There's a head in the way there. There's a pillar there. The screen's there. Why aren't I sat at home where I can just enjoy it? And you think, I'm not going to enjoy this at all. And then of course, as soon as the first thing happens in the game, you forget all that. You realize that it's better. You're with other people. You're with your friends. There's an atmosphere. And you know, you get used to how things are. It's the same thing when you play a DJ gig, especially when the only time you've ever practiced is at home on your gear, exactly the way you're used to having it, with the speakers, exactly how you like your speakers, and with your headphones, exactly the volume you normally have your headphones, and all that stuff. Suddenly you're in a DJ booth somewhere unfamiliar, it's a different height, maybe different gear, speakers are in a different place, everything's miles louder, everything's trembling, like literally from the bass, never mind the trembling in your hands from being nervous. It's horrible, but you do get used to it, and you get used to it quickly, and then you start having fun. So yes, forget the wibbly first couple of mixes, forget the fact that it all feels different, it will settle down. And guess what, it'll feel better, because it's a real gig, it's not playing at home. My first DJ gig, says Colt, was back in my hometown after moving away, and it could not have gone better. They showed love, and I let loose for the first time in my life. Mid-tempo to dubstep, the set was so much fun. That is a brilliant summation of what first gigs feel like. They are absolutely fantastic, and they change your view of DJing forever. You know, digital DJ tips, if you've ever bought one of our courses or joined one of our DJ training programs, we spend so much time gently encouraging people to play a live event. Doesn't matter whether it's a live stream or for family or a local bar, or you know, maybe a gig, maybe it's just, if it has to be, it's just recording a mixtape and sharing it on Mixcloud or whatever. But the thing is, if you don't do the DJing, if you don't actually move from mixing to performing, then you are not learning what DJing is all about. DJing is about that interaction between the people listening or the people dancing and you. And a lot of people spend so long on their gear saying, oh, should I master the beat jumping and the sampler and the key shifting before if I don't master that, I've got no right to be in a DJ booth. And they spend months and years on their gear when really they should be learning how to react to a crowd and how to get that sense of what to play next. And that stuff, you can't practice that at home. It's impossible to practice that at home. You're not getting any closer to being a DJ in the sense that you're playing for other people unless you get out there and play for other people. And so yes, your first gig changes everything, and I'm glad yours did. I let loose for the first time in my life. What a wonderful sentence. Thanks for sharing that. This Saturday I got selected for a festival contest. Any tip for CDJs? Yep, export your music on a USB that is prepared for CDJs using Rekordbox, which is free software. You go download Rekordbox, looks like this, get it for nothing. I say it looks like this because I've actually got Rekordbox open on my desktop. I was doing some training with some students on this just recently. So go get Rekordbox, it's free, it looks like this. Prepare your library, prepare the songs you want to play, export them to a USB drive, take the USB drive. When you get to the gig, plug it into the CDJs, I've got some here. They should be networked together, so you plug it in there and you can see the library on them both. Keep the mixing simple. I guarantee you will get the hang of it pretty quickly, but if possible, get a bit of practice on them first. Maybe turn up before they open and see if you can have an hour. Or, you know, some people even go and hire a couple of CDJs because they're not very expensive to rent for a day or two. And some cities have studios where you can go and practice on them, again, for, you know, $10 an hour or something. So if you can get a bit of practice in, do. But they're very simple to use. Nowadays they have sync buttons on them, and if you analyze all your music, you can have your cue points and all that stuff. So they are not the big step up that they always were. And if you actually use Pioneer DJ stroke Alpha Theta equipment, then your library is probably already ready to play with on their equipment anyway. So even easier, all your cue points and stuff will just come across. I really wish you a lot of luck with that gig. Sounds like a great one. So just to remind you, if you are just joining us, where have you been? We've covered 10 steps, 10 killer tips for surviving your first ever DJ gig today. And you can go and check them all out on the article on Digital DJ Tips as of a couple of days from now, when it's already 25th of April-ish, Thursday-ish, it should be up there, where you can read about all the stuff we talked about. And also, the other thing I've got to remind you of is that you can enter the competition to win a pair of Alpha Theta Wave 8 portable speakers. Alpha Theta have partnered with us on this one, and these are pretty cool. They're worth $1,800. If you head to djtips.co/win, djtips.co, no M on the end of it, /win, and enter your email address. We've extended it for another week because it's proving quite a popular one. So go and enter, and good luck with that one. Okay, one or two more of your comments, then I'm out of here for today. If you've got questions which are not related to this, come back on Thursday. I think we've got one on Thursday this week, and we'll try and answer them then. My first gig was back in the 90s on vinyl. The owner wouldn't stop telling me what to play, and I let a mix slip, and then he kicked me off the decks. Well, you can't win them all, can you? But thank you for that. Is 3 months' time enough to prepare for a 1 hour opening set? Yes, it is. Definitely enough to prepare, Tom. So don't worry about that. Just do the things we've been talking about in this lesson. I wish you a lot of luck with that. It's a perfect length of time to prepare, to be honest. And then later on, for some reason, Tom says, is 6 months from beginning DJing enough time to prepare for a 1 hour opening set? Both of them. You could prepare, you can learn anything in 90 days is my rule. Maybe not rocket science or brain surgery, but most things you can get to a point where you can have a go at it in 90 days, which is exactly the time you mentioned in your first thing. So yeah. Right, I'm going to leave it there, people. Look, thank you very much for joining us. I've enjoyed it today, as I always do. Your comments are great. It's lovely having you all here. We will be back on Thursday. So until then, get good, get out there, make the moments, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.